Good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the NASDAQ 100 being recorded on Thursday, September the 25th at 2:55 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Um, Got a little bit additional confirmation today that making the decision to move the minute third wave and place it at um, the high on the 22nd at 25,027 was correct as we continue to decline today and now, for all intents and purposes, appear to have completed five waves down off of that high. And I've labeled it as such. Wave one, two, and then one, two, three, four, five of three, four, one, two, three, four, five. And then we actually came up in three, went down in what looks like three, and now we're coming back up. And I think what we're doing is we're now in the C wave of the B wave, the internal B wave. So how I've labeled this is that, and it's always funny how when you lower the time frame, things move around, as wave A or one. And I am leaning towards A, the sub-minuet A. So to give it a little bit further breakdown, I'm going to go back out to my hourly chart. What we're looking at is an ABC of minuet degree to finish the minute fourth wave. We're looking that eventually the market should retrace back to minimally 23,287, which is 0.236 for that fourth wave. But there's the low of the previous fourth wave, and that came in at 23,025. So roughly about a 2,000 point drop. And I think we're well on our way. So again, I'm looking for either a wave one here on a sub-minuet um, not label, or it's wave A, sub-minuet wave A of minuet wave A. So either way, if we're going to come down in five, it's either going to be this A wave or it's going to be wave one out of five to form minuet wave A. Now I'm leaning again towards this one because of the fact that it's like if it's one, then I get a two, and then I get a three and a four and a five, we're basically almost down to here. And then, which could happen, don't get me wrong, it could happen. It could come is real close and then turn and rally in a B wave and come back down and hit this guy, hit these levels. So both remain active, in terms of what we should be looking for. I think minimally we're going to get a little bit more of a rally. I've put in our markers up here, and they kind of come in at 24,721 and then 24,794. And that's 50% and 62%. And that would be for the B wave or wave two. So again, A, B, C. I think we got A done, B done, and we're coming back up in that C wave. And probably, should come up, and not probably, it will come up in five. All C waves must be five waves. That's the rule. So, but other than that, and it actually wasn't, there was a lot of push-pull, don't get me wrong, today, particularly because Apple decided it was going to be very popular, and a lot of trading was in Apple. And so the stock was constantly climbing up one or two and then coming back. And with that being done, even though Nvidia sat at the top of the food chain today in terms of, or I should say the pecking order, so it carried the most weight in the NASDAQ today, but Apple was number two. And so we had some decent moves in other stocks as well, but for the most part, a lot of it was to the downside. And now we're just reopening and we're up $8. Oh, we were up 775. Now we're up 425. You can see always when we get that first minute, it just gets, everybody moves in, do what they need to do to start the opening, and then it kind of settles down. So I would look for this continuation to the upside to finish this B wave. Now, the other side of that coin is that that's the B wave, or that's the wave two. And this is one of the next leg down, and this is two. And then we're going to come flying down. That's if we were to start to drop very, with some strength. and just start cutting through all the bids and just start dropping without looking back. That's would be what my call would be on that. Otherwise, I'm looking for it to form five waves to the upside right now. We might still be involved in a little bit of a pullback. So we got that support at 24,588. We have additional support down here. And then, of course, we have the support at that level at 24,422. I could throw some additional fibs for additional downside. I took them off because I wasn't expecting it right away tomorrow. But if you need additional fibs, we got them. They're not fibs, but price point would be this low right here, which is 24,242. So I think that may contain, if there's still going to be some left from this A wave or wave one. But even if we go up in that B wave and come back down, which I would suspect that that's exactly what's going to happen, I think that this level could hold. And if not, I can run fibs from here. And again, when I'm running the fibs from here, all I'm looking for is that internal Fibonacci support as all these internal waves start to form. So again, we have 382, and that's pretty much right there with that low at price low at 24,242. And then we have a 50% at 24,029. So that actually would be a first thousand points right off the bat if we came down and we settled there. So this is 24,025, this 24,029, pretty much 1,000 points. That quickly, right? This was the 22nd. And if we reach this before the 30th, pretty quick drop. And that would fit perfectly as well. I'm thinking that we got a lot to go on, and we've got a lot that could happen leading up to and including the September quarterly or the end of the third quarter expiration, which is on September the 30th, next Tuesday. So I kind of will leave this up there, but you can see what I did. I just ran not extensions, but retracements from the low and up to that high. I'm going to take them back off so we can get additional support levels as we're filling in the wave A. Or if we start to come back down, it would be the C wave. Upside, here we have it, 24,721, 24,794. Downside, we have some initial support, 24,265 down to 24,244, 242. And a break there, which I would assume is going to happen if we're in the C wave. So first rise up, finish the B, start back down to put in the C wave. Could we do all of that tomorrow? We can. I mean, we could do some of it overnight for sure. Why not finishing it up tomorrow? And then again, if we get an ABC down, then we're going to look for another ABC up. Right? Corrections, right? If we got ABC down, there'd be a 5, 3, 5. And I would call that minuet wave A. Right? I'm on a sub-minuet level. If I got a 5, 3, 5, it's a zigzag. And I'd be looking to label it as minuet wave A. I'd leave this then as an A wave, put that as a B wave, and we're doing 5 waves down for C to finish minuet A. So first leg of that correction done, and then we go back up at a B wave, come back down at a C wave to finish it. How long it's going to take? Well, seems to be rolling out pretty fast. But that doesn't mean we can't just stop and just start going sideways for a while. That can happen too. The selling did not get out of hand today. We did break some levels. More likely, we were breaking them in the Qs. Let me just kind of go over and look at what the Qs range was today. 595 to 588. So definitely we broke the volatility trigger in the in the Qs. And let me just double check to make sure that I'm not saying something that didn't happen today. And I'm going to go back up, go over to the Qs. And that volatility trigger was 597. So we definitely broke that. We broke a large gamma 3, which is at 595. And then, of course, 590. Yeah, that's what it was. Large gamma one in the put wall at 590. Did not really take it out because we only got down to 588 and then they reversed it and came back up. And so, and we can see that was pretty quick, came down, made that low, and then they put in a very strong bar, hourly bar, pretty much right after that. So it was pretty straight up. So I think that put wall at large gamma one at 590 in the Qs is likely still sitting there strong. Economic data for tomorrow. Well, the long awaited for tomorrow is finally it. We have personal income, personal spending, but then also at 8:30 a.m. we have the PCE index. That's been known in the past to be a market mover, and we got the algorithms that are all going to be all set to react good or bad. So, depending on where we are, if it's going to be acceptable to the market, well, bingo, we rally, maybe finish this B wave. Or if it's not, we may rally in anticipation of it overnight to finish the B wave, and then we kick off the C wave with those PCE numbers. Just possibilities. And that's actually about it. I want to take a look real quick at the moving averages so we can see. There you got it. Look at that 8. Flat, flat, flat. And the 20 starting to crest and wants to go flat above the 382 resistance, 382 support. And then the 50 is kind of looking like it wants to go flat along with the daily 200, and that's going to do it below the 382. I think it'll probably come in just below it and ride it all the way across. I'm not looking for that to, well, it might get touched, to be honest with you. We got the 382 down there, so it might get in the way and get touched. But I'm still looking for that level up here. All right, that's actually it. The trading today, yeah, it was fine. You had some great moves in the morning. You can make some money. And then you had this guy, which was pretty good. So you were really done by 11 o'clock, I think. This started at 10 and it ran through 11. And then you got a little bit more between 11 and noon. And then we had a little bit of a correction and then they pulled it back up again. So it's always kind of interesting, but still, I think there was plenty to trade today. And volume was a little bit better. All right, tomorrow's also an expiration. It's the weekly expiration, so that will have some play in it. And again, in the larger stocks, will continue to control. And I think we're going to continue to see that, not necessarily consolidation, but the rotation as firms and traders prepare for the end of the quarter on Tuesday. All right, that's it. Our next update will be tomorrow morning.